No, my name's Ruairidh Campbell. I'm the project manager at CMAL. Actually delivering this £1.7 million improvement to the infrastructure at Kerrera. It's fully funded by Transport Scotland. What we're essentially doing is at the far side in Gallanach, just south of Oban, we're extending the slipways, as well as behind me the slipway at Kerrera as well is getting extended. That's going to remove the tidal access for carrying freight, which is vehicles, farm foods, etc., to and from the island, and makes a massive difference when it comes to actually living here. Folks have been tidally restricted for, well, since the slipways have been built, and it makes a massive difference being able to take their animals across the market when they need to, rather than being restricted by the tide. The second part we're doing is actually putting in the breakwater that I'm standing on here. That's actually improves the resilience hugely, particularly in winter and stormy weather. The project's a great benefit for tourism on the island itself. There's the tea shop at the south of the island, but you'll see today there's been the boats shuttling back and forward repeatedly because the amount of foot passengers on it can't take everyone all at once. So the fact we've got the breakwater here means that when the weather actually changes, the ferry service doesn't stop. It means that folks can come and know that they'll be able to get back off the island readily. The other benefits really are to the islanders themselves when they actually are able to bring feed across for their farm any time of day, as well as bring their vehicles across as they need. There's a lot of feed and a lot of material that goes on and off the island. You'll see it up behind me, there's a green shed. That's a co-op shed that actually takes all the feed for the island, and after that they distribute it to the various farms. There's a working group of a large number of stakeholders, and we've been party to that from the beginning. What we've done is we've then formed a subgroup to look at the design, and I've come across regularly to do presentations to the residents, sitting in January in the school up behind me, and talking them through the scheme itself, and taking question and answer sessions just to make sure that they understand the design process, and if there's anything we can do to adjust things and actually improve things for the residents. They know their island best. We've certainly tried to accommodate that where we can. We started just prior to Christmas. That let the guys do some early preparation on this side at Gallanach. What we did in January is we worked up to our shutdown period. That was a 6-week shutdown period when there was no freight traffic at all to the island. So we carried out a lot of consultation to make sure that that happened and went smoothly. So we had a lot of animal feed to take off prior to it, and also we had to manage any deliveries that actually were happening by foot. In fact, we had one Highland cow that actually went on the ferry as a passenger. So the first thing the guys did was actually put out, just beside the slipway there, they put out a temporary pier, which let the crane that's standing behind me then head out and sit over the water. So as the tide came up and down, the crane could work unrestricted. They put in the sheet piles to extend the slipway itself, filled that with rock, and then put the precast planks on top of that, and since then they've just grouted it up with the divers. So the main part on this side was actually to get the temporary works in place to actually allow the crane to work through the period, January, February, and the weather in Scotland can be quite interesting at that point in time. So part of the key with that was to actually make sure we had a method of working that would actually carry on through the winter uninhibited. As part of the design process, we consult with Scottish Natural Heritage and Marine Scotland. It's just to make sure that we actually put everything in place to safeguard all the marine life, as well as animals that might be in the vicinity of the works on the shore as well. One of the things that came up was there's the potential for an otter holt. So we've put an otter licence in place, and the guys have actually been trained up with toolbox talks, etc., to look out for potential otters. We haven't seen any during the construction period. However, we need to put these things in place to make sure that the animals are safeguarded.